Hello, mates. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be doing a tier list about logical fallacies. We're going to be ranking these on how non-effective are they to use, so if you should use them or not. So, S tier is actually going to be um are the best to use. So if you are gonna use these, you're gonna get away with it on S tier. But the worst ones that you should never use, or someone or your opponent will use, but they're in bad faith, it's F tier. So I'll rank them by that order. Okay, now the first one we have here is ad hominem. Now ad hominem, if you don't know, is basically making fun of the other person and using that as some type of argument. Ad hominem is probably one of the lamest fallacies you could use it isn't even that interesting. So I'll probably rate ad hominem F tier. Just don't use it. People who do use it probably there's a bad faith debate. Um okay, I'm just gonna be jumping around here. Appeal to emotion. Appeal to emotion is one of those ones that you probably just shouldn't do in a debate. I would say it isn't that bad as ad hominem, so I would put it as D tier, but you should probably not be appealing to emotion as one of your arguments. um you know, you could do it as like a punt, like to make an argument more convincing, but as the argument to keep promotion is a really bad thing, especially if you disagree heavily with your opponent. um a red herring, because I don't know, 'cause it's red, it's fucking painted red. A red herring, it's like whatever. It's not that interesting. It's like a very basic thing. It's very common though, so like obviously you're probably gonna get tripped up to using it, and you're probably gonna hear it a lot. So it is better than these two, but just try your best not to do it, and try your best to call it out when it happens. I'll rate it like a B tier. Hey, next, loaded questions. Now I actually like loaded questions. Not like okay, I phrased that wrong. It's more like I found it very interesting. Loaded questions are the most interesting one from all these ones. All these are kind of boring, in my opinion. This one's a bit more interesting, so I get to some points. But you should probably not do loaded questions, and you should probably call it out when it does happen. Loaded question is just a general bad idea. Um, but it is very common, so I could rate it a bit higher than red herrings. Appeal to nature. Appeal to nature is just another shitty version of appeal to emotion. Don't do it, and it is just wrong. Or just put that one. Black or white. Black and white happens much more commonly than people think. It is a bit basic, not that interesting. But yeah, it's black and white. Like it's classic C tier, which is a very basic, happens all the time. When you're given two options, either it's black or white. Um, Equivalency. I'm actually gonna rate false equivalency A tier because I feel a lot of people actually misuse false equivalencies because what they do is when they don't like a hypothetical where it's going, they say it's a false equivalency, even though it's not really a false equivalency, or they misunderstood the point of a hypothetical. So yeah, people get pissed off. Um, yeah, even though you shouldn't be doing false equivalencies, it's just a lot of people are gonna say that you are doing a false equivalency. Um, there was a good one where cherry picking. There it is. Cherry picking is common. It's still not good. Depends how you use it. If you're like bad faith or not. Like if someone is specifically cherry picking and ignoring other evidence, probably bad faith. But if they just cherry pick stuff for like their research, like that's typical, nice like normal behavior, right? You're trying to prove a point in a debate, and you can cherry pick the parts that agree with you and not really include the other parts, even like by accident, right? You're just gonna search you're just gonna search up stuff that agrees with you. So cherry picking, like I guess I'm rating this like these ones down here are trash. I fucking hate them. Oh, these ones are like better. Actually, I probably put cherry picking like A tier. Also, probably no logical fallacy is gonna go to an S tier because it's better not to have a logical fallacy than to have a logical fallacy. So just heads up. Um, False cause, kind of same to false equivalency, same stuff. It's a bit more debate, bro. Like people more know about false equivalency and false cause. Because I put it with red herring. Slippery slope, it's way too overused. Also, slippery slope doesn't really necessarily mean it's a fallacy. It's only the slippery slope fallacy. Because you can have a slippery slope but without being a fallacy. Well, yeah, people always confuse it. Like, oh, it's slippery slope, it's just slippery slope. Some slippery slopes are actually true. So, you know what? I'm actually going to unnecessary. Never mind. No, slippery slope, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a fallacy. It just sometimes it is a fallacy. Straw man. Don't like straw man. A bit boring. It's not that interesting, and it just pisses me the fuck off because that shows that if a person is consistently doing straw man, they're most likely in bad faith because they're not really listening to you. So yeah, fuck straw man. I'm fucking down here. Okay, what are some other ones? Burden of proof. I love this one actually. People like people don't know who the burden of proof lies on. So when people ask like, "Oh, it shows you not to do something," so if I say I took a cookie, I say, "Oh, where's the proof that I took a cookie?" And then someone asks, "Well, where's the proof that you didn't take the cookie?" Right? That's a fallacious question. So I'll probably put it like it's very basic and common. So I'll put it with black and white. Genetic, it's similar. Like false class, I'll probably a lot most hard to whole. I don't actually know what most of these. I don't know what the fallacy. Or maybe like when people call fallacy when it's actually not a fallacy. I'm not really sure what's this one. Um, two quoque. It's an interesting one, but it is used kind of commonly. It is a very very well known fallacy, so I'll probably put it in B tier. I want to say. What's the other ones? I don't know what are the other ones. Begging the question. Yeah, it's just common. It's very common. It's not like necessarily bad faith thing. A lot of people beg the question. I'm actually gonna put it a bit higher. And what are some other ones? Personal security. That's kind of like what the Hazily generalization. Boring, so not that interesting, but very common. Like yeah, I put it C tier. Not that interesting. Very common. Not that bad to do or use. I don't know what these rest are. Faulty appeal to authority. Same, like these are just like general shit that happens through other things. You gotta get used to it. Um, Now actually, there's one that I wasn't here. That wasn't included. It's called "All Roads Lead to Rome" fallacy, which I bloody hate. It's basically where you have a claim and you can show two types of evidence, and for some reason the claims is so supportive. So let's say um the UN is a corrupt organization, and if I show an evidence that there was a corruption scandal in the UN and the people were fired or kicked off the job, you would just say, "Oh well, that's just fake investigation." But if I show you different evidence that they were never had any investigation, you would even say, "Oh well, that's even more proof. There's just a bunch of corrupt people. They don't even investigate." That's an example of a all roads lead to Rome fallacy. It is in tier, it's a bit more, it's a bit less well known. But yeah, there might be some other ones that were not here. But if you guys want to do a part two, which is plenty more, like leave a comment down below.